iDubbbz is a bit of a controversial figure these days, having gone from being the poster boy for internet edge to now being stereotypically woke and weak-willed, disavowing his fans, and in my opinion, just kinda a shell of his former self. But he was still successful, can't deny that, though he might have owed his success to the videos he now regrets wholeheartedly and the fans he now despises. He was certainly successful, but we just found out that is kind of a facade. You see, iDubbbz has not been super active on his YouTube channels recently. Instead, it seems that he's been opting to spend his time working on his boxing event, Creator Clash. Now, to be fair to iDubbbz, the first Creator Clash was a fairly successful event. Basically, it's a creator-centric boxing event during which a bunch of creators fight each other, and the profits all supposedly go to charity. Seems innocent enough. Just a fun way for creators to raise some money for causes they care about. And the first Creator Clash was just that. By all accounts, despite some minor drama with iDubbbz allegedly barring some comedians he doesn't like from the event, it went fine and a bunch of money was raised for charities. So when Creator Clash 2 was announced, it promised the same thing, to be a fun event where creators box other creators and raise a bunch of money for charity. What could go wrong? Well, I'll let iDubbbz tell you.
Hello everyone, I have some bad news to share with you. For Creator Clash 2, despite it being a fun event and despite good fights and a lot of creators sacrificing a lot of time, money, and energy, we lost $250,000 on the event. We did half as well as we did the first year. This has been a financial catastrophe for me. I can't even think about doing a Creator Clash 3. We lost money and there's no money for charity.
That's right. According to iDubbbz, not only did money from the boxing event not go to charity because they lost money on the event, he's in the hole for $250,000, which sucks for him, like a lot. But considering all the drama that happened before this event, and how a lot of the criticism of the event was hand-waved away because the event was supposed to make a lot of money for charity, it's kind of a huge deal that he didn't end up giving any of the money from the event to charities. He knows that. I'm fairly certain the only reason that he came out to tell people this publicly is because if he didn't explain it and it came out from one of the charities or one of iDubbbz's enemies, the damage would be worse. The dude is on full damage control now, running some weird live stream event where he raises money for charity to compensate for his failure to give money away to the charities which he had promised originally. So just think about that. He told fans that the ticket to the Creator Clash 2 would benefit charity, which turned out to be a lie. So now he's asking his fans to give him more money to make up for the donations he promised that never came to fruition. That's just insidious. In my opinion, that's taking advantage of your audience by making them feel bad and then providing a moral pathway that makes them feel better about themselves and in the process absolves you of guilt. All the while taking money out of your fans' pockets. Gross. Also, I don't know how exactly he's structuring this live stream donations or how he's gonna handle the donations at the end of the day, but I'm always suspicious of creators doing live streams to raise money for charity because, let me let you in on a little secret, if the streamer is morally dubious or just plain evil, they can use that money and those donations for a tax write-off. That's right, some of the more insidious streamers will take your money, then donate it in their own name and take the tax break. I'm not saying iDubbbz is doing that, just saying that I really do not ever trust weird donation drive livestream. I'd tell you the same if it was anyone else doing it too. It's always better to just directly donate to any causes you support, rather than trusting a stranger to do it for you. So anyway, now we know he's doing a live stream to try and salvage his career. But was there anything he did that could have impacted the success of Creator Clash 2? Well, in my opinion, yes. Just publicly, not counting the weird behind the scenes business decisions that he may or may have not made. Nor counting the fact that he mentions in his video about the rampant rebroadcasts of his event, which it seems like he didn't target for takedown for whatever reason. He made more than a few public blunders before the fight too. The most obvious of these blunders, which for me personally sealed the deal that I was not going to watch this year's event, was that a few weeks before the event, iDubbbz removed a fighter from the entire thing, Froggy Fresh. You see, Froggy had been hanging around with a slightly controversial comedian that iDubbbz doesn't like, named Sam Hyde. Sam is a boxer himself and was helping to train Froggy. Now, Sam and iDubbbz distaste for each other is a well-known fact, but Sam had trained a fighter for the original Creator Clash without any issues for that fighter. Also, at the same time, Froggy made a fairly tame joke about iDubbbz's wife having an OnlyFans, something iDubbbz had said in the past didn't bother him, and got into a little back and forth with someone who was allegedly iDubbbz's wife's mother on Twitter. Some combination of those things led to iDubbbz and Creator Clash immediately cutting ties with Froggy Fresh, who had been training for months for this event, with no warning. Froggy said publicly that he found out only minutes before Creator Clash posted a statement on Twitter. This definitely upset a lot of people. Even big names in the streamer space like Critical came out in support of Froggy Fresh, mainly because nothing Froggy did was really even moderately offensive to anyone outside of whatever was going on in the Creator Clash offices. More so when you consider that this is a boxing event, where usually a little bit of trash talking is not just expected, but encouraged before an event. Basically, to his fans who had originally followed iDubbbz for his edgy humor, this was a betrayal and the ultimate sign that he had become what everyone had been saying he was. How does someone go from being okay with openly saying slurs in videos to being offended that some guy made a fairly tame comment about your wife's controversial choice of career path? So yeah, I think a lot of iDubbbz's older fans were particularly turned off by this, and that's not to mention the public opinion, which was very clearly with Froggy Fresh, despite certain big creators running a little bit of PR for Creator Clash. Pretty much everyone who looked at the facts saw that Froggy was being treated unfairly, and it would not surprise me if that led to a lot of people canceling tickets or just deciding not to support the event at all. This was a total PR disaster for Creator Clash and iDubbbz. And that was made worse by the fact that for most people, the first thing they'd have heard about Creator Clash would have been the Froggy Fresh drama. You see, I consider myself to be fairly up to date with online goings on, you know, on account of the whole YouTube drama news thing I've got going on. But man, I had barely heard a peep about Creator Clash 2 before the Froggy Fresh thing. If it didn't happen, there's a decent chance I'd have never heard anything about it at all. There was like zero promotion for this fight. At least that I saw. Maybe he was running some big traditional ad campaign or something weird that I didn't see, but in my opinion, the Froggy Fresh drama was basically the only reason anyone even knew about the event at all. Just seems weird to do an influencer boxing event and not require the influencers who will be boxing to leverage their, you know, influence to get people to buy tickets. I guess he just thought that the first one went so well that they didn't have to worry about it or something. And the last thing that didn't help was probably the clip from a podcast of iDubbbz talking about how he hates his fans. Yeah, kind of a big oops to have that hit the internet while you're building something like this. He did clarify that when he insulted his fans in the clip, he only meant the ones that would make him feel uncomfortable in public. But still, less people would have seen his clarification than saw the clip, which because of the fact that it was a clip that showed him insulting his own fans, went pretty viral. On top of all of that, iDubbbz is pretty much past his peak. To be honest, he's not been putting out a lot of content in the last few years, probably partially due to the Creator Clash, and probably partially due to the fact that he no longer wants to do the things that got him famous to begin with. Regardless of how you feel about his personality going from edgy to woke AF, you can't deny that, well, without his edge, he's not really anything special. That's what got him famous. What's a singer who decides they don't want to sing anymore? A minimum wage worker. You can't just abandon the things that got you to where you are and expect everything to just keep moving on like they always have. If you're gonna make a change like he did, you can't do it in the shadows, occasionally talking about how you hate what made you famous and insulting your fans. You have to own it. He should have just gone all in on what he wants to do and hope it works. It almost never will, but at least then he's not irrelevant. I don't know. To me, it seems like iDubbbz losing $250,000 on his big hyped up influencer boxing endeavor is just kind of sad. It's the peak of downfall of someone who was at one point at the top. Like if tomorrow Facebook announced that it was losing millions every day and Mark Zuckerberg had to go around and beg for donations and to keep everything afloat. But in this case, with iDubbbz, it's worse because he did it all to himself. I don't know why he changed, and I'm not going to grandstand and tell you that I know for sure he's changed for the worse, but change is hard. If you stick your head in the sand and ignore it, then you're not going to succeed. This is the downfall of iDubbbz. Where he goes from here, who knows? But it's not going to be an easy road for him. What do you guys think about this whole situation? Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching till the end. Have a great day, and God bless you.